set of injectors out that have been cleaned and tested. Non-genuine injector seals. You can see they've been out already. 1, 2, 3 and 4 are marked, so someone's pulled them out before. It lasted 3 weeks before it started leaking out of injector 4, bottom copper washer, and it also runs with a mess that I don't think is the injector washer. There's no point reconditioning injectors, you can just buy genuine ones. Genuine seals don't leak, genuine injectors don't fail, and you don't have to do the job twice. The customer also got stung a shitload of money for considering the amount of work that was done. So it's all good. We're here. I'll do it properly. Won't have any more issues again. Do the timing belt while we're here. Tensioners and the tune. Also fitting one of our intercooler kits. Because this one runs a bull bar. Even if it doesn't run a bull bar, the intercoolers are pretty average. So yeah, happy afterwards. It's either I stick a socket in here and turn it, or we stick a pry bar behind the fan belts, the fan bolts, sorry, and just turn it. The timing belt spins opposite the engine rotation, so if you notice I'm turning the engine right and the timing belt's going left, that's normal. It's on an opposing gear inside the timing set. Line them up as best you can. As you can see, those 2 marks there, the orange marks, that means that the cams are facing each other. They're both at top dead center. You can be at top dead center in 2 spots. You can be at top dead center on the exhaust stroke, which it looks like we are, so I have to do another complete rotation. Yeah, we definitely are. Got to go around another full turn. There's a little slit there that lines up with that little cutout in the timing case that you can see. And there should be a cutout in the gear. I'll put a photo, I'll record it as well. The top 2 cam indicators pointing at each other. See the slit in the bottom pulley pointing at that slit in the timing cover. You want to undo the tensioner. If you're reusing the tensioner, you want to put an Allen key in this spot here. You can kind of see it, that octagon. Then you stick a small screwdriver, another Allen key in there, twist it, tension the tensioner open, and then block it, because if you undo it like I'm about to do it, it essentially destroys the tensioner, but we have a new one, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, if you're reusing the tensioner, best way to do it. Don't forget that little 10mm bolt there, that also holds the back of the tensioner on. If you pull the tensioner off without undoing that 10mm bolt, you destroy the tensioner. The tensioner can't be used once it's been, you know, sprung open. But again, we're replacing it, so I don't care. So I generally start with the tensioner or the idler when I undo them. It doesn't matter, as long as the engine's pointing top dead center, it doesn't bother us. Undo him as well. As you can see, it's practically fallen off when I've done that. Now, this camshaft here, point the camera here, this camshaft here always has this tendency to go left, anti-clockwise. A lot of people find it difficult to get the new belt back on. I'll show you what I do to fix that, or to make it a bit easier essentially. And a lot of people struggle to put the belt back on, even with the tensioner captive, how they come out of the box. They struggle to get the belt back on them because the belt is that tiny bit too short. There's a trick to do that as well. As you'll see, as soon as you pull this off, that cam wants to go left. That one wasn't too bad actually. Have a look at the state of this belt, and they reckon it's been changed. That's supposed to be 30,000 k's old. That looks more like 230,000 k's old and feels very brittle. Yeah, mechanics up this way, and I'm not going to go naming names, I don't even know who did it. Just seem to charge and not actually do anything. Anyway, pull the idler off. Now you want to keep the belt for the idler, they don't come with a new one. Take note of which way it goes as well. This one is a bit worn, so probably due for it. Keep note of the way that it goes, so the offset output side always goes inwards towards the motor. So when you get these out of the box, you'll find that they have this rubber thing on the thread. The reason that rubber thing's there on the thread is so you can't pull the tensioning mechanism off by accident, and that's the thing that holds it from actually springing open, right? So what you want to do is carefully remove the rubber, and don't worry about the 10mm for now, because if you tighten this one before you tighten that one, you end up pulling the tensioner off the pulley. Line that up nicely and carefully thread it in. Careful not to cross thread it either. I have seen it done. Slowly wind that in by hand. Again, don't bump it. Don't let it spring out. Might be a bit pedantic doing it all by hand, but I prefer to do it that way. Then line up the little tab that had the 10mm in it. Do the same. Put that little 10mm bolt in. Make sure you don't cross thread it. Again, I do them by hand. You have the off chance of picking up the wrong bolt, it's a bit too loose or something like that. You're far more likely to feel if you've got something wrong by hand than if you were to just get the impact or the power ratchet onto it. Nip the little 10mm up, as long as this one's all the way in. Nip the little 10mm up. Doesn't have to be stupidly tight, it's only a 10mm. Just enough so it doesn't rattle loose. Tighten him up, the same. Again, this one has to be a little bit tighter. It's a big 14mm. Now, grab your tensioner. Grab your tensioner out, sit it there for a second. Belt, when you're unwrapping it, they're not meant to be folded, they're not meant to be mucked around with. Now, some of them have arrows on which way they should go, this one doesn't, so it's sweet. Yes, I'm using a Daco belt, no, there is nothing wrong with it. Now, making sure that you have the bottom pulley still lined up, as we can see it is, the little slit in the pulley and that little casting in the timing cover. Now, your cams are both lined up as well, but you'll find that the intake cam will want to jump, that's fine. Have a 15, not dreaming. Have a 17mm sitting handy, because you might need it. Now, what I usually do is I'll get the bottom timing pulley first. So sit it on there, make sure it's mated to the teeth properly. Then I'll run it around the tensioner. And as you can see, this one has a shelf on it or whatever, a bit of a wall. Now, what I'll do is I'll try and get as much tension on that as possible. Like so. Then this is where this comes in handy. Now, you want to slightly turn this one to tension it a bit. So you want to turn it clockwise. That way, when you sit the belt on it and you let go of the tension, there's tension there, and they're pointing at each other. It's slipped. See? Yeah, pass me the camera. They're pointing at each other. That part of the belt's tight. Now what we do, this is the part that people struggle with. I'll grab the bolt. Now I'll grab the tensioner, stick the bolt in it, like so, and while holding the belt tight, you can feed the tensioner in on the ever so slightest angle and pull the belt towards it. And then, again, 14. Again, by hand, pull on the bolt. As you can see, it's tensioning the belt when I do that, ensuring the thread's straight, and tighten it by hand. Now, you have a very high chance of cross-threading that into the timing cover, so this is why I say do it by hand. Once you've done it by hand, if I can turn it like this, there's going to be some resistance, right? Because I'm essentially squeezing the belt in, but I'm not going to be able to cross-thread it by hand. I won't be able to turn the bolt. So once you get, 4 or 5 turns out of it, you can be fairly certain you haven't cross-threaded it. Stick a ratchet on it. That one's got to be nice and tight as well. Then, confirming you're in time. Again, if you're in time, you can then pull him out. Grab that. You should be able to pull it out by hand sometimes, and this one we're lucky. Now, that's done. New idler, new tensioner, all in time. Good day. This bolt's never been in a different position because it's only been vibrating on one side of it. It's etched it there. This is the original bolt. Customer was told that this timing belt's been changed, but yeah, I kind of doubt that. Look 6 months old to you or whatever it is. Doesn't to me. Anyways, cover back on. Burn like a kitten.
I wish we always no one like me.